Good morning. My name is Etzalteric. Chances are you haven't seen me or heard me before. I felt compelled to produce this video with the hope that if you're watching it now, you might benefit and you might see things just slightly differently. So I offer you for your amusement, your distraction, your edification, or consideration the following. First, let me tell you a story. I love metaphors and stories, so let me start with that. My wife, Kamakwan, was feeding me pineapple as we sat in a beautiful, isolated park in the Berkshires. Without me knowing, she snuck in an orange. I didn't notice. My senses were startled, and my senses immediately protested. Then, just by drawing back slightly, I could observe the movement of my mind. The disparity and distress caused by a lack of alignment between what is experienced and what actually is really what causes distress. For those of you who haven't heard my talks before, here is really basically the foundation of what I say. Please understand that to benefit from what I say, the message that I have for you, you do not need to believe anything or change anything. All I ask you to do is consider, observe, and be open-minded. As a basis of this talk, let me convey to you that life is based on desire. This is common to all living things, and it's not bad or even dispensable. In people, that desire begins with the same desire all living things have, and that desire is to survive. And to survive to the mind means, of course, to avoid death and anything associated with death. Unfortunately, this precisely, for people, is the root of much despair, distress, and tremendous suffering. The mind is constantly processing, discerning, interpreting, and reacting to experiences exactly from that basis. But the mind expands the desire for survival to the desire to be comfortable and safe, to feel pleasure, to avoid pain, and to control the environment, the world, to accomplish this primal purpose. The inability to control events perceived as cause and effect naturally creates panic and terror in all of us. This is not a coincidence or a contrivance. Please understand that this is our nature, not to be denied, but to be acknowledged, understood, appreciated, and then lovingly dismissed. You know, I don't watch too much television. I don't watch the internet very much. Too much information for me. I'm old. I can't process all that. But I was struck by a report that some of the main symptoms of what we're all seem to be battling, fighting against, COVID-19, the main symptoms are a dissipation of hunger and an inability to taste. I heard this and I thought, as I usually do, I thought this is quite a succinct metaphor. Because not only while we're experiencing, if we have the misfortune of getting the virus, not only the symptoms of the virus itself, but they're actually symptoms of the projection, the fear, the terror, the anxiety of getting the virus. The things that we normally enjoy, the things that are normally very important to us, seem to be blocked. They seem to disappear. It is actually hunger and the experience of taste at all levels that makes life intriguing, precious, and worthwhile. Interesting that these sensations disappear when one is either invaded by the virus or is so afraid of being invaded by the virus. So already you've heard a lot of words and you've seen a lot of pictures. What specifically does this have to do with COVID-19? I know you're saying, are you kidding me? Let me elaborate. The pandemic is happening. No, it's not your imagination. It's really happening. It seems to be sometimes very far away. It seems to be sometimes very close. But it is happening. Denial or sublimation is possible, but really, it has no value, and it does not solve or cure anything.